What's going on, Luminators? You bright ones. You shining today? You shining on a hill where everybody can see you? You're juggernaut. You're powerful and unstoppable. Oh, Boston Sea here. AboveTheSun.io. AboveTheSun.io. Follow us. Subscribe. It's great living above the sun. Just got off a good team call. Saw an article yesterday. Thought I'd read it. Just maybe make a couple of observations and let you get back to your day. Y'all living in the now, right? Because you know that the past just showed up 1 second ago. Future just arrived. So you got to live in the now in every moment. And that's like everyday eternal living, right? Living in the now. And rest. It's all good. Let's do a little screen share. Saw this yesterday and I was like, what? Oh, yeah. The hate industry. The hate it. It feels like there's a lot of hate. But above the sun, the technology is the love frequency. Everything comes out of love. It's a discussion for another time. Right now, we're just trying to, just talk about this hate deal, which really hate reports to fear and fear reports to pride. But let's just read this and see where it goes. So this is out of Zero Hedge. And again, makes my life easy. I appreciate them. Authored by Edward Ring. Eddie, appreciate you, bro. Via American Greatness. And this is a quote from, the Pretendant in Chief. Keep it light. Stay humorous. Come on, man. I'm unplugged from all. Are you unplugged? You guys are like, you're still not doing the MSM. Where do you get your news, by the way? Are you doing your own homework? Are you an independent thinker? Are you critically thinking? Are you living 75 and a 55? Keep up. All right. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy. Joe Biden speaking at Howard University, a few days ago. In the aftermath, I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll stop and maybe come back tomorrow. Don't get aggravated because we're living in the love frequency. So this hate thing, you just need to know how to go at it, right? Imagine it like dissipating, right? Because Trump, Trump's easy with the Trump thing. It reigns over hate. In the aftermath of September 11, 2001, when establishment politicians started to make common use of the term homeland. Actually, your true homeland is above the sun. Yeah. They told us the most dangerous threat to Americans was foreign terrorists. But today, we are instructed to fear the enemy within. A new iconic date, January 6, 2021, is inscribed on our collective consciousness. From coast to coast, Americans are being herded into two camps. Humanity is being prodded into two camps. Above the sun, below the sun. It's a way of thinking. It's deciding or not to have a moral reverence, a plumb line of character, integrity, authenticity, genuineness, honesty, truth. And others may go the other way. And I put it in one big bucket, big corruption bucket. And it's just being dealt with, right? But you have to be empathetic towards humanity. Even when corruption resides in humanity, you don't have to tolerate the corruption, but having empathy towards the human. I'll leave it at that. There are the white supremacists, those bad people who purportedly hate good people. So wait a minute, white supremacists, they're bad people who hate good people. And then there's everyone else, good people who are encouraged to hate the bad people. Well, the bad people are operating in corruption, which you don't have to tolerate, but because they're operating because they let their own donkey out of the barn. I think everybody has a donkey. Is that not right? Anyhow, I'll keep reading. Hopefully you're not getting triggered. I'm not trying to trigger you. We're on the same side. The common thread to state the obvious is hate. And again, hate to me reports to fear, who reports to pride. Right? Look at me, peacock. Boo! I got all the power, all the money. You think you do, bro? But we got the love frequency. Much better, dude. And it lasts forever. As Joe Biden's would-be successor doing his part to nurture and support the hate industry, California Governor Gavin Newsom on May 4th announced the launch of CA California versus Hate, a new statewide hotline to report hate acts in California. I hate that. Proclaiming that hate will not be tolerated. Interesting. How corruption that possesses hate, it dictates that the governor said the Californians will have another tool to ensure that not only justice is served. Oh, I love justice. Wait a minute. The fury of justice is like a fire and won't be quenched. Release the fire. The self-existent loving one has already released the frequency of justice and judgment, grace and mercy. It's all happening at the same time. Illuminators, you know that though, right? The governors of the California will have another tool to ensure justice is served, but that individuals have access to additional resources to help deal with the lingering wounds that remain after such a horrendous crime occurs. Let me read that again. The lingering wounds that remain after such a horrendous crime occurs. This is agenda-driven hype. The agenda, perfectly expressed by author Michael Schellenberger in a Substack post last week, is to manufacture a fake hate crisis as a pretext for mass spying, blacklists, and censorship. The hype, also exposed by Schellenberger in his recent article, is underscored by the fact that over the past 10 years, hate crime convictions, as opposed to criminal complaints of hate crimes, have not increased at all. In a state with 40 million people, hate crime convictions were a minuscule 109 in 2021 and a negligible increase from 107 in 2012. The hate industry is a vast agglomeration of lucrative hustles, now institutionalized and expanded into multiple and overlapping sectors. This is the diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI sector, the equity, social, and governance, ESG sector, the activist sector, compromising countless groups, including Black Lives Matter and Antifa, the corporate, academic, and government sectors. How many sectors do we got? The media sector. We got too many sectors. Sectors got to go to politicians. That's a sector. And the pundits, the donkeys. All of these sectors have spawned scores of thousands of well-paying jobs. Right, because that's an expression of the corruption that's in place. It's not rocket science, Illuminators. All right, I'm going to read a little bit more and then stop. There was a place I wanted to stop right here. If these institutions weren't able to point to rising levels of hatred in America, then their specialty, the business of hate, would no longer be a growth industry. This is what I thought was interesting. Where there is no hate, they must manufacture it. Where hatred has diminished, they must discover new forms of hate, often so subtle that we foolishly fail to recognize it without their assistance. I'm going to stop it right there, but I'll come back tomorrow to do another one. So think about that. If these institutions weren't able to point to the rising levels of hatred in America, then their specialty, the business of hate, would no longer be a growth industry. Yeah. So eliminate the biggest thing is a deal. Let me stop. We were talking about this in our call today. Self-hatred. Give yourself a hall pass. Let yourself out of the prison that you keep yourself in. Understand the self-hatred. All right. You're dealing with enough stuff without kicking your own donkey all the time. All right. You got to learn to love yourself. That's what you got to do. Okay. You don't do anything perfectly. Deal with your junk. Get in the game. Get off the cross. We need the wood. Okay. Love life. Love your family. Love you. Love your family. Your friends. Make a difference. Change the atmosphere. Do what you're called to do. What you're passionate about. What are you good at? What do you like to do? Go for it. Right? Stop the self-hatred. And always use the love frequency to dial down the hate frequency. Right? And that's what we do. And that's what we're going to continue to do. And so with that, love you guys. Love you soon. Stay in the path. Stay in the way. And until next time, back to the future. Live in the now. Peace out. Talk to you soon. Boston, see you up and away.